Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Misfit, of course. Today we are going to be unleashing our new weekly segment. We're calling it Roll Call, where we go over my favorite performances of the week, the guys I thought that did the best in each one of the roles: tank, support, and damage. This is just my opinion. And definitely, if you have different opinions, or you want to get into the discussion, jump down in the comments, throw down who you thought did really well this week, top performers, guys who had the best performances of the week. But before we get started, I'd like to thank everybody out there in YouTube land. Thanks, guys, for all of your support, all of the views that you've given me, all the likes, subscribes, all the comments, all that kind of thing. If you're new on YouTube, thank you very much. Be greatly appreciated if you subscribe, hit that like button, hit the bell for alerts when we got content coming up. We do Overwatch League content a few times a week, 3 to 4 times a week, generally. But let's dive into it. Okay, so we're just going to break it down we're going to do 2 tanks, 2 supports, and 2 damage dealers. So let's start off with the tanks first. First off, we are going to go with Smurf from the San Francisco Shock. He had an unbelievable weekend playing Winston, playing a little bit of Reinhardt here and there. He absolutely destroyed the Florida Mayhem and the Vancouver Titans in the quickest match ever in Overwatch League history. He is currently second in eliminations per 10 minutes with 28, final blows 10.7, final blows 10 per 10 minutes. He's an absolute beast. Smurf is one of the key reasons why the San Francisco Shock is doing what they do. He plays an unbelievable Winston. He plays great when he has to play Orisa. He's, at this point, almost the best Reinhardt on the team. He did not get subbed out for any kind of Reinhardt maps or anything like that. He's doing a fantastic job. This week, he was top of his game. Pretty much topped the leaderboards on pretty much every category that there was. And he's not even a damage dealer. So let's move on to our next tank. We are going with Hanbin from the Paris Eternal. He took the Gladiators to school this week. The only person that has more final blows per 10 minutes and more eliminations per 10 minutes than Smurf is Hanbin. His Zarya was incredible this weekend. There were a couple other guys that I was looking at. Mirror looked really good. There were some other guys. Mono looked good. There were players that looked good on other teams, but Hanbin by far was the best, especially in the flex tank role, playing the Zarya. He did everything that was necessary. He's great with bubble management on that character, and didn't get to see him much on Sigma or Diva or anything like that, but he played a lot of Zarya, and he played it at an extremely high level. One of the reasons why that they absolutely dismantled the Gladiators, it was Hanbin. So let's move on now to the support category. Okay, for the supports, my first support is going to be Violet from the San Francisco Shock. I have him. He had an unbelievable weekend. He took over the match against the Florida Mayhem. They could do nothing to stop him on Zenyatta. He was clicking heads, just going off. Aside from that, he had great transcendence timing, canceled out a lot of ults for the Mayhem. His Discord orb placement was perfect. He knew when to heal on Zenyatta. Also, he did play a couple other heroes besides Zenyatta, but I mean, that's what stood out the most to me. But he just went absolutely crazy, fragging out against the Mayhem, and he was part of the total annihilation of the Vancouver Titans in that speed run. He just went off as well. He went off as well in that match. Violet on the Zenyatta for the weekend. He was unbelievable, like we were saying. 39 final blows total. That doesn't seem like, a massive amount, but think about, what you're playing here. You have to heal, you have to do all kinds of other stuff. 39 final blows, 126 eliminations total. One of the biggest stats that you like to see when you're on Zenyatta. defensive assists and offensive assists. He had 146 offensive assists and 185 defensive assists. Fantastic. 17 critical hits. In other words, right clicks to the skull. But Violet's stats were unbelievable for the weekend. He recorded a ton of, final blows, 39 for the two matches. And remember, one match was about 19 minutes long. So just on point with the Zenyatta all weekend. Played a little bit of Baptiste. Did decently enough on Baptiste. So let's move on to the other support we have. We have Alarm from the Philadelphia Fusion. Alarm for the weekend. Alarm had a great weekend, playing a couple of different heroes. Played a lot of Moira. They seemed to like that Moira comp. Played some Zenyatta. That's where we got to finally see it in the Overwatch League. We got to see him frag out a little bit on Zenyatta, but he's also good with Transcendence. Great with the Discord orbs, like we were saying about Violet. All that stuff. His Moira was on point. He knows when to throw those damage orbs in, when to concentrate on healing. He fades out, gets out of trouble a lot. Fantastic with the Coalescence. All around did a great job. Managed to keep Sato alive and helped them turn around that match that looked absolutely terrible against the Gladiators and turn it into a reverse sweep win. Also is a big part of total domination of the Toronto Defiant. He did fantastic in that match. That's where we got to see the Zenyatta play and things like that. Overall, all year long, he's been consistent. This week, though, he is one of my top supports for the week. Let's move on to the damage dealers. We're going to stay in Philadelphia with this one. We got Carpe, who against Toronto amassed 37 final blows and only 5 deaths in a 3-map sweep. Doesn't sound like a ton, but the last 2 maps, I think he only died once or twice. So, unbelievable performance in that match against the Defiant. Also, key factor in the reverse sweep along with Alarm was Carpe. His combos with Fury and Poco on the first map, they were a little shaky, but him comboing in with the pulse bombs, making key clutch picks as he always does. Some of his numbers, let's go over those really quick. This week, Carpe, top 4 final blows per 10. He had 9.5 eliminations, 23.5 for the week per 10. Damage was not as gigantic as you would like, but the key is the final blows and the eliminations. They were all timely, always meant something. That's generally the Carpe way. Just when you think he's not doing anything, he comes out and does something unbelievable, carries his team to a fight win, or, just those kind of things that Carpe does. And he did it this weekend a few times. Also, solo kills per 10 minutes. He was number 4. Also on there, ahead of him, oddly enough, was Smurf, just, I guess, going ham on 2 teams that were definitely not as good as they are. But Carpe, 0.7 per 10. That's a really good number. Prophet had the best for the week, but Carpe had the most impactful performance both days. That's why he is on our damage list. The next damage player we are going to go with is Jinmu from the Chengdu Hunters. I can't say enough about how he played against Seoul. He took over the match on Genji. Him and Ameng have a fantastic synergy together. They play really, really well. And he took this match over. Seoul had no answer for him. Hangzhou had no answer for him as well. In the match later on in the week against the Seoul Dynasty, Jinmu had not 1, but 2 over 75% flooded deadlifts for his team. On Lijiang Tower, he got 15 of the team's 31 final blows for a 96% deadlift. And then on Volskaya, he had 13 of the team's 32 final blows for 81.3. He absolutely dominated all weekend long. It's a great look for Chengdu. He is one of the key reasons why they are in the top 2 for the Countdown Cup. And this week was a gigantic reason why. He carried them in 2 matches. Yeah, they had some help from Ameng. Everybody else played really well. Leave played well as well. But Jinmu was the star in this one, or in this week. and he is my other pick for Damage Dealer of the Week. We also have some honorable mentions we're going to throw in there. We have Fearless from the Shanghai Dragons, played fantastic. Also, unfortunately, we got to go back to San Francisco. Choi Hyobin had just an absolutely dominant performance in 2 matches. Didn't really hear much about Gargoyle or anything that Vancouver threw at him. We also had Kevster in 2 losing matches, did everything he could. He was fantastic on the Genji, not as good on the Sombra, but he also did really, really well this weekend. Fleta, of course, was another one that went absolutely bonkers and did crazy things this weekend. And I also want to throw in there the supports from Paris, just both of the guys. FD God, Fielder, fantastic all weekend. They are another reason why this team is so good. Those 2 rookies are fantastic. Did a great job all weekend long. And those are a couple of my honorable mentions. I want to hear what you guys have to think. Do you like these? If just let me know down below. I want to hear who you guys thought had a fantastic weekend that I didn't mention. Let's get this conversation rolling. Talk about the best players of the weekend, all that kind of thing. What it looks like for these teams that have these players and what they're doing. So just throw your comments down below. That's going to do it for this one, guys. We're going to do this every week. This is just a quick, fun player of the week kind of scenario to open up the discussion about our favorite players of the week. I just want to thank everybody out there for joining me. If you're on YouTube, thank you very much. Thanks for all the likes, subscribes, all the views. If you're new, please hit a like, a subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. Don't forget, guys, we got our week 26 preview. We have no hero pools this week. We got some news that we got to talk about coming up. We're going to have that up for you somewhere Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, so you can get ready for those matches on Friday and into the weekend. We got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of big matches on tap, so stay tuned for that one. This is Misfit. I am out. Everybody stay safe. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you on the next one.